is Beautycon, and it is all about the trends. And right now, the biggest trend is big, bold, bright colors, neons, shadow. She's like, yeah. You know, when I try to do it, it all ends up down here, and then I'm looking like Krusty the Clown instead of actually looking like Roxy Diaz. So it's going to be crazy. But right now, we're going to do a smoky and bright panel. And don't forget these colors and everything. You can find ULTA. But really, really quick, I want to remind you guys that when we do finish the panel and we exit, I want to make sure that you guys exit this way and out where it says exit this way. I know, right? Got to exit where it says exit. We're getting a little cluster over here. All right, so right now, coming to the stage, we have celebrity makeup artist and beauty expert and inspiration, Miss Sheika Daley. Please give her a round of applause. And she's a star on the dance floor and on the gram. Please show a lot of love to Jade Pinkett. All right.
Come on here, Jade. Hi, guys. Hi, Beautycon.
Hi.
Are you guys having a good time? You're all so beautiful. Thank you, Roxy.
No, of course. Okay, so we're going to get right to it.
Yes.
Neons, bold colors. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it. I do it the wrong way all the time. I just don't go out in public. But I'm curious, what are you going to be doing on Jade today?
So when you normally think of a bold, smoky look, you always think of like darks and blacks and browns and bronzy, and it's usually something that you do around the fall time. It's summertime now, so we're all playing with these bright, bold, beautiful neon colors. So I'm going to incorporate a bold, smoky look, but we're going to add some bright neon colors to go with it. So I'm going to do like a purpley, fuchsia, pink, magenta, smoky eye on Jade today.
Okay, do you have a favorite color right now that's like one of your favorite colors to play with?
I do, and I'm going to use it today.
The purple?
Yeah, it's like a purple. It's like a chameleon-like color, so it's got like purple and pink and blue and green and silver. It's got a beautiful reflective quality, and it's from the ULTA palette.
ULTA's palettes are so great. I don't know, guys, if you've seen them. Really high pigmentation, stays on the eye. Really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Available at ULTA.
So we're going to get right into it. Jade has already been prepped already from earlier on today. We've kept her foundation and concealer and everything else on. And this is kind of a good transitioning trick that I'm going to show you, how to transition from a really clean, like the look that Roxy has on right now or what she's wearing right now, and how you can transition from this to something super, super bright and bold and beautiful. So I'm going to start with prepping underneath her eyes. Because she has foundation on right now. Is there a beauty blender?
Jay, do you have anything on your eyelids right now?
Right now, I just have foundation makeup.
Okay. I'll have a seat because my feet hurt. Just gonna keep it real.
So I'm gonna start with a little powder. This is like a translucent powder. And normally when you use your beauty blender, you're gonna wanna damp it. In this occasion, we're not damping it. I'm gonna use it dry. And this is kind of like a protective thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place it under her eyes so that it'll catch like any fallout from the shadow falling out. When you're doing these big, bright, beautiful colors, there's a tendency to get some fallout onto the face. And if you already have your foundation done and everything done from earlier on, you're not gonna wanna start all over again from the very beginning. So this is just a little prepping underneath her eyes. It's just a translucent powder.
Do you have a favorite that you like to use?
Right now, Laura Mercier. There's two that I love. I juggle between products a lot. Right now, Laura Mercier, the translucent powder, is my absolute favorite. But Pat McGrath's brand new setting powders are on another level.
Is there a right and wrong setting powder to have? Because there's some that tend to leave you ashy looking, or is that just you using too much of it?
No, there are right ones and there are wrong ones. I've used a lot of different setting powders in my career, and I've messed up using the wrong ones. You get like that really white flashback underneath the eyes. This I've found doesn't give you that. But I'm also not pressing too hard underneath her eyes. Like Jade, I don't know if you can kind of tell them and feel the pressure that I'm doing
underneath my eyes.
So I'm not pushing it in too hard, because if you do that, then you're going to end up getting that really white cast underneath your eye, which is not what you want.
That's that raccoon look.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that. All right, so we've got her prepped. So now I'm going to base the shadows first with just a little bit of an eyeshadow base. I'm mixing two cream colors. You can use any brand Makeup Forever, Anastasia, Inglot, MAC, they have really good color sticks. Just take 2 of them. I'm mixing this purple color. It's a lighter purple, and I'm also mixing it with a deeper purple just to kind of create something like right in between.
Okay, I have a question for you. Before you add any color, and I know she says she already has foundation on her eyelids, are you keen to using the eye primers and stuff like that, or is that just too much?
I'm using this as a primer.
Okay.
This will kind of work as your eyeshadow primer. It'll make the color stand out a whole lot brighter, and it'll also keep it on longer throughout the day. Like if you're putting it on someone that's going to be performing or on a red carpet or something like that, you want it to be able to last long. So this will help to keep the color on and making it really, really bright and beautiful. So I'm just layering a little bit on her eyelid. And I'm gonna go back and forth.
Those look really velvety and satiny.
They're so beautiful. They're super creamy. They won't crease on the eye.
Oh, I can't stand when that happens. What can you do to make it not crease?
Well, this is my little trick. I like to layer a nice color underneath whatever shadow it is that I'm using. So if I'm using purple or if I'm using blues or whatever color it is, I'm going to get like a cream color that's the same, and I'm going to layer that underneath first. So I'm just placing both of this. I'm mixing it back and forth.
Do you find putting on too much on your eyelids could actually make it crease more and not give you exactly what you need?
Definitely. The key to any look, especially a smoky eye look, is all about the blending. So you just want to make sure that whatever you're putting it on, you're blending it out to where it like doesn't exist. If you're caking it on, the chances of your eyeshadow creasing after a couple minutes, or even 30 minutes, is higher because you've got so many products underneath the eyeshadow. So I'm doing a very, very light layer, but these pigments that are in this cream are so strong that I don't really need a whole lot of it. So I'm just taking a flat brush and kind of getting it mostly on her lid area, as you can see. And then I'm going to take a brush that has nothing on it, and this is what I'm going to use to kind of blend it out. And I'm going to blend this kind of upwards into her crease area. I'm not going into the brow bone, but I'm going as high into the crease as I possibly can. I just want to blend it out until it disappears. And like I said, that is the major, major key when it comes to doing a beautiful smoky eye.
Any blending tricks? Like how much are you supposed to blend? Because I know blending is everything. I don't do it enough.
Don't stop. Just blend until it's completely blended out. Like there's no time limit. It might take longer depending on whatever product you're using, but just don't stop. Like if you feel like you have like little sharp edges, take another brush that has nothing on it and just kind of blend that out.
How do you get your clients to ease their way into embracing the trends of these bright, bold colors right now if they're usually like a plain Jane? What's a good way to start your, put your toe in the water when it comes to some neon?
Maybe like a bold liner, like what you have on. That's a good way to kind of transition into color. And then from there, you can kind of take it a little bit further, like maybe doing a whole color all over the lid, like a color wash, and then transitioning that into like a smoky look. But the liner that you have on is really beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm just blending
My
this out.
custom made over here.
Is that from Uma as well?
No, well, there it is an ULTA brand. We don't know what. Christian did a super Jedi trick of turning an eyeshadow into a liner this morning.
Okay, so she's all blended out.
Awesome.
You got the color. If you wanted to, you could layer on a color on top of that and just be done. But I'm going to take it into 3-dimension and kind of show you different dimensions you can kind of layer on top of that.
Now, when you know your base of where you're going to go with it, it's really important when you pick the bottom warmth color, right? So
yeah.
What colors usually go with what? Like if you're trying to do, like you said, you're going to a purple base right now, but if we're doing goldish, bronze, if we're doing a glitter eye, that's going to be smoky also. Where do you want to usually start with your color bases?
It just depends on the color that you're going to use. So if you're going to do like a dark, vampy black smoke, then you can just do a black eyeliner. A kohl liner is necessity when it comes on to doing a smoky eye. You don't want to use a gel eyeliner. The gel liners are meant to last. So because they're meant to last, they tend to set really quick. Once they set, you're not going to have time to like do the whole smudging effect. So you want a kohl pencil so that you can get it on there. You can have time to like get that smudging effect, which is what's really going to create the beautiful, bold, smoky eye look. So we have that on. So now I'm going to take my ULTA palette and just play with a couple different colors. But before we go down on the top of the top of the lid, I'm going to take these two again.
Which
and just
ULTA
kinda-
palette are you using?
I'm going to take a little bit more of the creams that I put at the top, and we're going to work it along the bottom of the eye as well. Look up for me. So the key to this look is whatever you do at the top, you do at the bottom.
How far down do you go? I always get so scared that I'm going to turn into raccoon eyes.
So I'm a smoky eye fanatic. Like, I take it to a different extreme. So I kind of go further than most people would. But don't be afraid to kind of bring it down too far, because you can always kind of blend that out with just like a translucent powder or a setting powder, and that'll kind of like tone it down as well. But don't be afraid of it. I like to also start the eyes before I do the foundation, so that, you know, if you do get any fallout, you can just whisk it away and keep on moving. But in the instance where you don't have that luxury and you're on a movie set or you're on a video set and you have 15 minutes to change from one look to the next, doing the powder underneath the eye is perfect to transition from one look to the other.
Does it matter what size your eye is to whether you tend to lean to doing that or not? I mean, of course, for a smoky, you're going to always put it. But just for a regular look, would you always complete the eye and have like a powder underneath on the waterline?
I like a shadow underneath the waterline, even if it's not a color or it's just like a skin flesh tone, just to kind of give some dimension onto the eye.
Because I have small eyeball syndrome, so I get scared that my eyes are going to look all beady and stuff.
I mean, another way to kind of open up your eyes, even if you do a smoky look, is to not put it into the waterline, is to just maybe add like a lighter color, like a beige or a gold or a silver. That'll open up your eyes and still be able to give you the look of like a really beautiful smoky eye look.
Anybody else have small eyeball syndrome like me? No? Yeah. See, I can't do it. I get scared of doing big lashes also because it kind of closes your eye up.
Yeah, you want to be careful with not putting the wrong size lashes, because they can be heavy looking on the eyes. And if you have smaller eyes and your lashes are really heavy looking, it's going to tend to close your eyes down and give you like that droopy look at the side, which is not what you want when you're putting on a pair of lashes. The lashes are supposed to open up your eyes and make them look bigger and brighter and fuller. And
so when you do a smoky eye, do you tend to do a more, I know we haven't gotten to the lash selection yet, but do you tend to do a more natural looking lash, or do you tend to do a longer, heavier lash with smoky eye?
The great thing with a smoky eye is that you can go ham when it comes onto the lashes, because you've got a lot of shadow and you got a lot of depth and a lot of contouring going on the eye. You can really go there. I like to do like maybe 3 or 4 coats of mascara before even putting on the lashes, just to make it super, super dramatic, especially for a bold, beautiful eye. All right, so she's all blended out. So now we're going to start layering the eyeshadows on. And my favorite one in the ULTA palette is called, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but Yemoja. I don't know if you guys have this palette yet, but this blue color is what I'm going to layer on first. It's called Yemoja. Y-E-M-O-J-A.
Sounds right.
So I'm going to start at the lower lash line, like as close to the lash line as I possibly can. And then I'm going to blend that upwards. The key to not getting the shadow to fall all over your face is once you dip it in here, just shake it off a little bit. Try not to blow it. I know that's something that you probably have done like a long time ago, but you don't want to blow on the brush because you don't want to get bacteria on it, and you're going to end up placing this brush on top of someone's eye. So
don't put your hot breath on your brush.
Don't blow on it. Tap it on something, or, you know, shake it off.
Don't do that.
The fallout will come off, so you don't get it all over. their face. So this is the blue. I'm just gonna put a light wash of this closer to her lash line, because remember we're doing a really beautiful smoky look. So I want the hint of color, but I want the color to come from behind. So this is gonna be the first layer. There's gonna be 3 layers. So as you can see, like there's a blue there now, but behind the blue is a purple that's gonna come out. And then I'm gonna add a beautiful magenta and then a pigment on top of that. And remember, the key is blending. So we're gonna go in again with,
How many brushes does it usually take for you to do one eye?
all of that you see in that little red thing right there, that was from maybe earlier on. I like to blend, and the best way to blend is to blend with nothing on it. So I'll start with something and then get like a brush that has nothing on it, just to kind of blend it out so that it's perfectly wispy and not no any harsh lines or or anything like that.
We're going to give you guys a chance to ask questions also. So if you want to think of the questions, right now is a great time.
And Jade, tell them about the pressure. I want them to kind of understand how heavy my hand is going versus, they see it, they might
Pressure.
think that it's like really hard pressure, but tell them what you're feeling.
So she's doing it very lightly. She's not putting any pressure on top of my top eyelid. She's doing it very gently as well.
You want to work with products that give you the ability to do that. This palette is really, really great. The colors are super pigmented, so you don't need to like really hammer it in. You could just put it on really, really softly, and you'll get the effect that you're really looking for.
I always see some people also that like to tend to wet their brush and then, so
I'm going to do that with the pigment that's going to go on at the very end. You can definitely wet these shadows too, which will create like a more intense color. Wetting the shadows and pigments for me is something that I really, really love, because it turns it into like a beautiful gel-like paint almost, and it just lasts, and it's super bright. When the light hits it, it's super sparkly. So I'm going to show you that towards the end.
now I know you're concentrating on a smoky look for her face this time around. Can you talk about picking one feature on your face at a time? It's like, some people want to do like a bold eye and a bold lip at the same time. What the importance of balancing the looks that you're doing?
Balance is definitely important. Like if I were to do this look on her, I definitely wouldn't be putting a red lip or a deep vampy lip. She would definitely have like a neutral color, beautiful lashes, contoured, beautiful skin, and then that's it. So if you're gonna focus on one thing, focus on that. If you're gonna have a beautiful lip, have a beautiful lip, maybe minimal on the eyes, beautiful lashes. If you're gonna go with a lot of bright colors like yours are beautiful right now, she's perfect. You guys are perfect. You have like a really neutral lip to kind of go with your bold eye color. Just kind of focus on one. Too much everywhere distracts from the look, and then you can't really appreciate one or the other. So I would definitely try to like edit myself down if I possibly could. If I'm doing a smoky look, I'm going to do a natural lip. If I'm going to do a bold lip, I'm going to do more of a natural eye. So there's definitely balance that's needed.
Who are some of your favorite people that you've worked with or that you see, girls in the entertainment business, that have great eyes and bold looks that you love every time that they step out on a red carpet and their makeup is always flawless?
Ooh. Oh, there's so many. J-Lo is one of my favorites. Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Zendaya, all my girls, Serena Williams, Brandy, all of them, Monica, whenever they step out, I feel like they always take it up, another notch. They've been out and they've been doing this for so long. So to still be as relevant as they are, they really take their look into consideration. And I love that. J-Lo doesn't play when she hits that red carpet. All right, so now she's got the blue color on, which is on top of the purple. And like I said, whatever we do on the top, we're going to do at the bottom. So now I'm going to take a little bit of a smudger brush, almost like a end of a pencil, super, super small. Same color, your moja. Look up for me. Look up. And I'm just going to get that as close to her lash line as possible. And then we're going to start blending underneath because we want that to disappear so there's no sharp edges. Can you see? Pretty.
Jade, you're going to have to go somewhere tonight.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right after this panel, she's going to be in her phone just like this.
Where are we going, Roxy?
I'm boring. going home. It's been a long weekend.
Left. Oh. Okay.
So pretty.
So now we have it underneath the bottom. So now I'm going to take my other color from Umoja. Uma. Sorry.
We can start taking questions too. Is there anybody that has questions? We have a question right
yeah,
here.
let's get that wet. I use that. Just put it here. Yeah. So there's, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this color right. It's QYA. I don't know if it's Kuya, but I'm using this little color here. And now I'm going to add this color. This is going to give it a little bit of a different dimension. And I'm putting this right into the crease area.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty. What's your question? I'm sorry.
For somebody who's just starting out, what is the most important to learn first?
Say that again?
Right here.
Oh,
Somebody
sorry.
who's just starting out.
Yes.
What's the first thing, like, you gotta nail? When
Skin. Skin.
Skin.
Yeah, you can do it. Eyes all day long, beautiful lips. So that skin looks horrible. You've killed your whole makeup look. You got to get the skin. Get the skin, make it buttery, beautiful.
How?
How? The right products.
Okay.
Have you tried Pat McGrath's foundation?
No.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that, but it's amazing. That one is amazing. It's foolproof. It'll easily give you the look that you're looking for. It'll make the skin buttery and fresh and light, and it's full coverage. Just the right products.
Yeah, I think that, well, there's some great Ulta brands here. Oma has a line of foundations that you could definitely check out. Also,
Didn't know that.
Elsie has some really great ones. She was here talking yesterday and doing a panel. I think that skin prep is so important. If you're using the right moisturizer, the right eye creams and everything, you need to prep your skin before you start pounding and putting so much stuff on top of it. But yeah, skin is everything at the end of the day. Make sure that you're getting matched for your color and that you're using the right color. A lot of us forget that we're not usually one color, we're usually two. You know, I know I have my summer colors and I have my winter colors, but usually one of those bottles works for both seasons, you know. Uma is actually doing matching on foundation. They were doing that yesterday as well, if you want to stop by there right after the panel. But she's so right. Skin is everything where you start. Do we have another question? We have another question right here in the back. I'm sorry, Sheika. Do you want to continue saying what you were doing?
So for under the eye, how like far up are you going? Like, are you getting it on her waterline?
I didn't go in her waterline. I'm going to put an eyeliner in her waterline at the end. I tend to wait to do that at the end so that it's really intense inside of there. If you put it on beforehand, sometimes it kind of like weathers away as you're doing the actual look. At the very, very end, get a good gel liner, waterproof. You'll put that in there. It'll lock it in and stay all day.
When do you like to use a white eyeliner for the waterline versus the black one or whatever other color?
Like you were saying before, it just depends on like the eye size and the eye shape. Like if you've got somebody that's got really, really small eyes and you want to open it up, a little white, silver, gold, or anything that's bright will kind of open up the eye shape.
We have another question up here at front.
Yeah. I would use black if it's like someone that has like beautiful, big doe eyes. Like Lala has, you know, she's got amazing eyelids and lots of space. I can go in with tons of black and it doesn't close her up at all. So it just depends on the eye shape. So the last part of the look, I'm going to take a pigment. You can get any pigment from anywhere. I think Uma has some. Mally has some, I believe, is at ULTA. Makeup Forever. And I'm just going to wet it. I'm wetting my brush first. And then I'm going to go into the pigment. And this is what's going to finish the look off at the very end. Close your eyes for me.
And your question? I'm sorry.
Oh, how do you do cut creases? Because like when I do cut creases, they like smudge. So I don't know if it's like the concealer I'm using.
Say that one more time. I couldn't.
Cut creases. So I cut my crease and it just kind of smudges. I don't know if it's the or the concealer I'm using.
Like it's not staying sharp?
Yeah.
What are you doing it with?
I use it with like a paintbrush, like a flat paintbrush that I got from Joann's because it's super angled.
Maybe change the shadow
Okay.
or the black color that you're using.
Okay.
Because maybe it's not strong enough and now it's bleeding
Yeah.
onto your primer or whatever shadow you have underneath it. But I would try like a stronger black. Uma has a really beautiful black. It's called Black Y'all.
Okay.
And if you wet that,
It-
I'm sure that'll do the trick
Okay.
for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
That pigment is so pretty.
Isn't it amazing? So I'm finishing up the look with that. I'm going to blend that as well.
I could sit and watch her do makeup all day long.
Aw,
This is
thank
so.
you,
This is like
Roxy.
meditation.
Oh.
I don't need high 8 yoga. I could just sit here and watch you do makeup.
I try to keep it as peaceful as possible.
Anybody else have any other makeup questions, whether it's eye related or anything? She's one of the best in the biz. We got another question right here up front.
Hi, how do you keep the shadow from falling out, all the sparkles on the cheeks throughout the day, throughout the night, other than setting spray?
Sorry, I didn't. How do I keep the shadow from
The
falling?
sparkle, the pigment that you put on top.
Yeah, well, I wet it.
So wetting it, it's gonna ensure it
Kind of
not to
locks
fall.
it, and it kind of creates like a gel-like texture. So you can kind of like paint it on, and that'll prevent it from falling all over the face. So you want to get good pigment so that after it's dry and the water dries, it
Do
doesn't
you wet
start
it with
falling
a
over.
setting spray?
Just regular water.
Water?
I have this micellar water, Evian water, you know, something beautiful that you can spray on a brush and make it look nice for them, and then add it into the pigment.
All right, thank you.
We have 5 more minutes left. Is there any more questions before we wrap up?
I can't believe it's over so
Oh,
fast.
one more. I know.
All right, let's get the lashes on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, cool. Hi. What is the brand of the pigment that she's using?
Uma,
It's,
right?
ULTA. I believe like it's from Uma. I'm not pronouncing the names right, so they have to tell me the name of it. So I'm gonna go over there and have them tell me the name properly. But I feel like I'm butchering all the names, but it's the Uma brand. Yeah.
All the products that she's using right now, you guys can check out at ULTA. And we have our Uma pop-up right behind you. And remember, they are doing color matching as well. They have some lipsticks in there
Okay.
that have this glitter that is
Yep.
so amazing. It's my favorite. I tried to take the whole collection. They stopped and called security because I was stealing. Did we have one more question? Okay, go ahead, Mama.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. So while you're doing her eyes, you have the translucent powder sitting the whole entire time. Is that like too long of a bake, or is it not baking because it's translucent?
It's not really baking. 1, because it's not translucent, and 2, what am I talking?
She's over here.
Sorry. 2, I didn't put it in really, really heavy. So it's not really setting onto her foundation. I really put it lightly so that when I whisk it away, it's not like stuck onto her skin. So it shouldn't give me like a baking effect.
Got it. And then the second question is, when you're blending, is there like certain type of brush or brand that you prefer or like over another?
I'm using these Zoeva brushes today. Those are really, really pretty. One of my other favorite brands is Hakuhodo. It's a Japanese line. I use them a lot. MAC has amazing brushes. Makeup Forever has amazing brushes. All the brush lines right now, they're coming out with some really amazing synthetic, cruelty-free brushes. So you can check all of them. And ULTA has them all. I get all my brushes from ULTA. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more
Alright,
question up.
let's go
And so you put the pigment underneath the eye also? Or
I
is
put a little bit underneath, just really, really close to the lash line, so that like when the light hits it, even though it's sparkly, it's still bold and it's really, really pretty, to give the vibe of like a really bright, bright, bright Smokey. I don't want it to be too dark. And then at the very end, I'm gonna, we have the glue on there?
we have that? And we have one more question up front. This will be our last question.
I'm gonna put some, let me get some mascara first.
Go ahead, Mama. What's your question?
What do you use? Like, what are your favorite products to keep the skin looking fresh and long lasting?
For like after you like done your foundation and like to set it. Somebody has a setting spray. I feel like it's Tarte.
I really like Makeup Forever.
Or Makeup Forever. Stay All Day, I think it's called. It's purple and black.
Oh, Tasha.
Urban Decay. Urban Decay has an amazing setting spray. You put that on and it's going to keep it on there all day. Another brand that's really good is Supergoop. Have you guys heard of that? They have like these really amazing, what do you call them? Sunscreens. And they have a setting spray that has sunscreen in it. So if the foundation doesn't have sunscreen.
Kate Somerville has one like that too.
Yes.
That you can get at Ulta as well.
Yes.
Sunscreen, so
Yes.
important.
Very
so important.
essential.
Yeah, setting spray and sunscreen at the same time. Mind blowing.
Yeah.
When I saw it, my mind just went. So your 3 coats of mascara before you put on her lash.
Yeah, I'm just going to add 1 or 2 right now because we're pressed for time. But you get the idea. I would do like 2 or 3, as many as you possibly can without making it too clunky.
Always put mascara on before you put on your lashes?
Always, yeah. I do 2 coats before and then maybe 1 coat afterwards, just to kind of give the lashes a little bit more of a dramatic effect. So we're just going to pop these on right now. All right, look down for me, darling. And when I'm doing the lashes, I never have them close their eyes. You want to keep their eyes open. And she's going to look down at her knees. That's going to give you enough space to apply the lash. It's going to keep her eye shaped the way that it would be when her eyes open, so that when you put it on when it's closed.
But when you put them on yourself, is there a trick that you have for putting on lashes yourself?
There is.
Because the whole mouth open.
I like to look down at a mirror. So if I have like a mirror in front of me, I don't look into it. I look down on like a table. When I do that, open for me? When I do that, it keeps my eye open at the same time, but it's closed enough that I can pop the lash right on and not really have like an issue.
I always feel there's one eyeball that don't want to work one day than the other. It's always, if you put the left one on right, you know you're about to have the blues with your right eyeball. Does that happen to you, Sheika?
How does that feel?
No, I knew you was gonna say no. That's fine. But see, I'm
my
not
lashes on in the car while I was driving.
See, you know what?
On and just boop, boop, boop.
That's why the 405 is like how it is, and it is right now, the 101. Because people like you putting lashes on and driving at the same time.
Right.
Not supposed to do that.
So the last thing, I'm gonna take this gel liner. It's by Uma, and I'm just gonna place it on the inside in her waterline. And it's navy blue, so it's not black. I'm keeping in trend with the bold, bright, smoky eye.
I love playing with the different color eyeliners now. I'm like kind of getting into that.
I love the different colors. It's so fun and it's easy, and you can just draw a simple line. And now liners are not just the traditional line. You can do circles, you can do dots, you could do arrows, you could do squares, you could do triangles. So to be able to do the different liners with different shapes, I think is really, really cool too. All right, so I'm gonna do some mascara on the bottom lashes. But before I do that, now is the whisk away. So I'm gonna try and get away all of this under shadow. And I'm using a really, really fluffy brush that doesn't have anything on there, and I'm not pressing too hard because there is some fallout. If you press really hard, and I'm hoping I don't do that right now, you're gonna end up getting like blue streaks all underneath her face, and you're gonna have to start all over again. So this whisks it all the way.
Will you prefer using a brush like that better than a fan brush when you...
This brush or fan brush, anything light that's not going to apply too much pressure, something that's not too dense, you want to keep it as light as possible so that you're not going to get like any streaks from the eyeshadow.
So pretty.
Thank you. And tell them how it feels, Jade. Just the wisping away.
It's very grounding, that's for sure. Trying not to fall asleep up here, you guys. But yes, she's not putting a lot of pressure. She's very lightly, like a feather, just wisping away all the excess powder and glitter that's stuck or left over that fell.
It's so pretty.
And now I'm just going to apply a little mascara at the bottom. Look up for me. If you're working with someone too that doesn't have a lot of bottom lashes, Jade has a beautiful set of bottom lashes, pop on a set of bottom lashes and get that eye to just be popping open. Like, I love these two ladies right here. I keep seeing them in the front. A set of bottom lashes will always achieve that.
We still trying to figure out how to put them on top of the, you over here want us to put them on the bottom too.
They also have some really cool, I know Ardell is in Ulta. They have some really cool like clusters that you can cut up. Even the clusters you can cut in half to make them smaller. Cut those in half and you could stick some little ones right underneath to create like a really dramatic look. So this is our
pretty.
beautiful.
How do
Give her a round of
I
applause, guys. Miss Jade
It's
Pinkett
bright
right
and
there.
bold. It's fabulous.
The
I hope
amazing
you guys like
Sheika.
it. It was super easy, right? It didn't take a whole lot. It's just mixing and making sure you can layer it. And this should last her all day.
Oh, it is. We about to see it posted about 100 times. Be on her story right now. Sheika, thank you so much. We
You're
really
very
do appreciate
welcome.
it.
I'm glad
Yes.
you guys liked it.
Guys,
And
thank
thank
you
you.
so much for attending. And remember, all the products that she was using is right behind you, right
Yeah.
here at our pop-ups. The ULTA brand right there. The palettes that she was using. Zoeva is right here. Zoeva is right here with the brushes. And I know somebody was asking about setting sprays and moisturizers also. Elsie has a really, really good one too. So
As well, you guys, if you guys see me or Sheika around, we have goodies for you guys.
We do.
So we have eyelashes and stuff. So come up to us, say
Yeah.
hi, take pictures,
We have
repost,
eyelashes
all the
here
good
for you.
stuff. So thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
one more round of applause. Yay!